Hello, Professor, and hello, classmate. Today we are talking about the Chang Dental Clinic case analysis. Our group includes myself, Kamtu, Ashna, Neha, and Himanshu. And we are going to talk about the summaries and case problem identification. Then let's talk about the analysis, SWOT analysis, and alternatives and the decision criteria. We also have some recommendation and implementation plan. Then we will conclude the summary. So let's start with the case summary and problem identification. The case is about Myler, who is an experienced dentist, and he is in dilemma to make the decision whether or not she should buy the business of Chang Dental Clinic, where he has been working and get good credit with the patient. So he is a good dentist who has very much credit with the patient, where when he served the patient with his heart and take care of the patient very well. But the problem here is he has very limited budget, which is $119,000 compared to the price of the business of $510,000 US dollar. Then, because his clinic, although he has some course about business management during his in his dental school, but he has very limited experience in running a business and manage a business by himself, as well as a financial expertise. So with his limited budget, he is thinking about financial options where he can get loan from the bank. So before we dive deep into the detailed analysis, let's take a look on the income statement in 2006, which is the first year of operating if Myler becomes the ownership of the business. And this is based on the assumption of himself. The first assumption would be the total revenue is growth rate equal to 50% of the growth of 2005, which is 18%. And you can see the highlight, the yellow highlight in ratio is on proportion of sales, while the other factors remain unchanged compared to 2005. And when we see the bottom line, the total expense account for 57% of the revenue, and the net income before tax will be 43% before compared to the revenue. And if we look at the industry ratio, the percentage of total sales of the industry ratio is much higher than the number in the income statement. It means that the Chang business is quite promising based on this number. And in order to understand another factors, Ashna will share with you the SWOT analysis. Ashna, please go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. Starting with the SWOT analysis, that is strengths. So as we know that the Chang Dental Clinic, it has a strong brand name identity because it has many patient flows and high level of satisfaction from the patient. Then talking about the patient satisfaction and trust, it clearly says that patient, like if patient were highly satisfied with the services provided by the Dr. Chang, and they also trusted them very much. And then talking about the experienced and friendly staff, like both the Dr. Chang as well as Miller, they were very friendly with the patients. Like they were Miller exceptionally was personable and interacting, apart from that, by interaction, half of the stress from the patients were reduced, and there is often stress from the patient side. So Miller and Dr. Chang sees that, I mean, they look forward to that, like they calm down their patients, and this way. And then as we have seen the graphs, that investment, the major investment was in the goodwill. That was like it stated that it level up patient satisfaction with Dr. Chang. Then after Dr. Chang brought the clinic from the third party, like the older patients still, they were in contact with the Dr. Chang and the clinic, and his practice too. Then talking about the financial successes, the like we have already seen that for years after the establishment, they have gained profits too. Then talking about the weaknesses, the major weakness was the major investment, that is goodwill and patient loyalty. Like like the like if Miller goes to like if Miller opts for the purchasing of the Chang Dental Clinic, he should maintain the goodwill portion, because dollar to 96,000 was major investment of the patient satisfaction. Then there was constant changing of dentists. So like Dr. Chang was a, I mean, Dr. Chang also bought it from the other dentist, and now if there is also a change of dentist at the same dental clinic. So, and then the reduction of associate fees, like Miller stated that in order to reduce the overall costing of the investment, he was assuming that he will cut down some of the fees, like extra fees of the associate. Then talking about the opportunities, like patients avoided hassle of changing clinic. That is a patient likely wanted to stay with the same clinic. Even the dentist is replaced by the new one. Hence, patient flow won't be affected by this. And even it gives a chance to another dentist to go further in his career. Then the second one is the friendly nature of Miller was a key to customer satisfaction. As we have seen that Miller's personality was such that he can easily calm down a patient. Then talking about the threats, the first threat was its geographical location, and that is the clinic was situated in the Petrolia, Ontario, that is with the less population of around 5,272 people. And it was very close to the USA border, Sarnia, and it's like 1 or 2 hours drive from the London. So if not this clinic, patient can go to other clinics as well, like it won't be too much time I mean, they won't get more time to move to other places for the another clinic. Then the third one was the competition. Like it was the only it was not like that in future, like if there are more dental clinics in that particular area, they might have a competition, like patient flow can be decreased, and in a way the pricing, I mean the less of the less of the goodwill thing can happen, and it can lead to a loss too. And definitely Miller was taking the loan from the bank, so like for the 10 years, so there is also a slow loan repayment. And then the fourth one is the operating expenses, like he was assuming, based on the assumptions, it was he was planning to take loans and everything, but in future years he is not sure whether like the operating expenses might increase as well. So this is the SWOT analysis. Moving forward to Neha.
Thank you, Now moving forward with the alternatives. So before we get into alternatives, what if things go according to Miller's plan? What if the bank manager is ready to sanction a loan for 10 years? Then Miller can go forward and just lock a deal and things can work as he wants. But again, there's a question of what if not? So if this doesn't work out, we have three alternatives which can lessen a bit of financial burden that Miller is going through right now. So our first one is Miller can ask Chang for a partnership contract. Again, listening to it, it's a bit glitchy as it's already informed in the case that Miller is not interested into a partnership contract. But here, partnership is not the same what we think about as a 50-50 take. Here, partnership is going to be an active and a dominant participant. With active and dominant here, I mean is Miller can be the active participant, the one who is gonna take the responsibility to handle the clinic, to take care of what things are and how they are working or functioning, and however the clinic's working on and functioning of the clinic in short. Whereas the dominant partner will be Chang. Chang will not be that active, taking up the responsibility, but he will be the one who will contribute the capital or the finances to run the business. So this way, what can happen is they can share the loan and the ownership. Again, Chang is the owner right now. He can come in whenever he wishes to, but this can only help to lessen up the burden which Miller is facing right now. And also they can come up with a conclusion of sharing the capitals, like whether they want to come up with a 70-30 ratio of sharing the capitals or the fundings, or 60-40, they can just lock up the deal as they wish to. Next is going to be a deal for not to sell the clinic. So here what can happen is Miller can either convince Chang that not to sell the clinic, but allow him to be the head associate and pay him good amount as an income. And at the same time, Chang is going to be the owner who's going to, his name is going to be on the clinic, that is Chang's Dental Clinic again. But some amount of financial help could be done to Miller this way. So this contract can be done according to their wish, whether for a year or two, or however it's feasible for both of them. Lastly, we come to the third point, or the third alternative. This can only happen where Miller is able to assure Chang of his skills, his particular ideas about developing or improving the clinic, and all his hard work or dedication he got to put in. So in this, he can negotiate with Chang that rather than just selling up the clinic, Miller can provide some commission to Chang on the profit basis, which he gets from running up the business. And at the same time, Chang can give his business to Miller on lease or a goodwill. So this way, again, Chang has the name in has his name in this business, and he is again the owner as the other alternative. But again, Miller is the one who's going to function as the main person, but just need to provide up with some commission. So these were some alternatives, and recommendation will be continued by Himanshu. Thank you.
So the Miller should use the financial performance of the clinic to convince the bank to loan him the required funds to purchase the practice. Liquidity ratios shows the financial performance of the firm and also show the healthy level of the firm. The reason as to why Miller should use the liquidity ratios for the clinic is because the loan will be repaid by the money that will be obtained from the clinic. The performance of the clinic will determine its ability to repay the loan once it is granted to Chris Miller, who will be a proprietor and owner of the clinic. Some of the important final ratios which Miller should present to the bank are follows on your screen. Uh, Current ratios and asset test ratio show the ability of a firm to pay for its short-term liabilities. The short-term assets of the clinic are able to pay for its short-term liabilities since the financial ratios are more than 0.5. The debt ratio for the company has reduced significantly from 2003 to 2005. Debt ratio compares the total debt of a company to its total assets. The low and reduced percentage for the clinic indicates less risk for the clinic, and that the clinic is heavily dependent on leverage, and that clinic has a stronger equity position. Increasing net profit margin or profit trend in net profit margin for Chang Dental Clinic is an indication if increased profitability. Uh, Return on assets illustrates how a firm's management is using its assets in profit making. The increase in the return on assets for the clinic during the last 3 years means that the clinic has been efficient in making a profit from its assets. Return on equity indicates the profitability level of a company and measures how much the shareholders have earned for investing their money in the firm. Return on equity for the clinic has increased significantly for the previous years, an indication that the clinic's management was efficient in utilizing its equity base for the better returns to its investors. Based on the above financial analysis, Chris Miller will be armed to the tooth with enough information to convince the loan manager of his eligibility for financing. The financial performance of the clinic has been overwhelming, and this will make Miller qualify for the bank financing. This is it for the recommendation, and the conclusion will be presented by Cam now.
Thank you, Himanshu. So based on the analysis of the business, we all agree that Mala should move forward with the purchasing of the Chang Dental Clinic, given the fact that it is a very promising business with positive financial indicators. This is a healthy business for sure. And then in addition, it has a very good reputation as well as the strong brand identity, given the fact that the patients are the patient satisfaction level is very high. And so he should use the good financial and operating profile to convince the bank manager to provide a mortgage for him to purchase the business. And in the worst case that he cannot get approval from the bank, some alternatives are available to make Myla's dream come true, as we have heard from Neha. So that's all about this case. Thank you, Professor and classmate, for your listening.